On April 6, 1917, the United States entered World War I after hesitating for 2.5 years. The country entered the war ill-prepared, lacking production capacity for gunpowder and ammunition needed to supply the combat troops.
Nitro was born out of World War I. When the U.S. entered World War I in early 1917, they soon realized there was a shortage of gunpowder, and they went out looking for sites. Nitro became basically the primary site.
On a cold December morning in 1917, ground was broken along the banks of the Kanawha for what was called Explosives Plant C, the site now known as Nitro. It was named after nitrocellulose, a chemical used in gunpowder. Construction on barracks to house 800 men in what was designated Area A began early in January 1918.
Prior to the government building Explosive Plant C, this was farmland, basically corn and wheat. There was the Moeller Lumber Company located here with a company store. The railroad went through, and other than that, there was just a handful of houses in the area. So had it not been for World War I and the building of Explosive Plant C, this may still be farmland.
Nitro quickly became not only an explosives plant, but also an entire city designed to support the plant's operations.
When I was growing up as a child, we did not know that we were born out of the war. We did not understand our history as youth in the community, and now that I'm older and we're going through this process of reinventing ourselves as a living memorial to World War I understand the importance of why we're here and the opportunity that it creates for us.
Nitro was built rapidly, but the end of the war came even faster. Just before Nitro was ready for full production of gunpowder, the war ended in November 1918. Construction of Explosives Plant C and the community around it halted at that time. But after the war, Nitro grew as an industrial center.
But shortly after the war ended in November 1917, the whole area was sold for $8.55 million, and that's when the industry started. Monsanto ended up here, American Viscose ended up here, along with several other smaller manufacturers.
Today, Nitro celebrates its past as a living memorial to World War I.
History, and what we're trying to do with our Centennial is to educate the people, to make them feel that they are part of something, to create a sense of place, to create an attachment for the citizens to the community. One of the primary reasons for that is when our children leave and they travel throughout the world, this will be something that they'll always remember, and maybe a place that they will come back to because of this attachment.
I think having all this history now is more important to the kids that are growing up now in Nitro because, hey, you know, we're just not like a little town, part of West Virginia. We are here for a reason.
Well, 100 years, that says a lot. And then you look around town and you look at the homes, the buildings, some of them were original buildings. And just to think about it, you know, and we kind of grow up and we kind of don't think about those things until we get a certain age, and then we get involved like I am with my position. And I've learned so much, and that's what we're hoping that people will do. They'll learn more about the history and how their families were actually a part of it. But the Doughboy is going to be the emblem that you come back to, and that's what we want people to think. They're going to be somewhere and they're going to see that Doughboy statue, and they're going, that's Nitro, and I can tell you about that.
Through this uniqueness that we have, very few cities can have a history like Nitro has, and can build on that history and use it to attract people to your town. And that's precisely what we're trying to do.
Here we are again.